The world doesn't need any more engineers. We didn't run out of plane or television set. We ran out of food. In the movie Interstellar, one of the first scenes that you would notice would be how the climate has changed. With this climate change, there was not enough food or water to sustain the world population. Eventually, people needed to leave Earth and search for a new planet. Our climate is quickly changing. If the current world doesn't do something about the environment, what's happened in the movie Interstellar may happen in real life. For this reason, the world is deeply focused on reducing carbon dioxide emissions to prevent global warming. For example, our world has a plan of replacing gasoline cars to electric cars, replacing fossil energy with renewable energy, and finding new materials that are eco-friendly. However, climate change has already started, and we won't be able to stop it in such a short amount of time. As the climate changes, one of the first things we need to worry about the most would be the amount of food that we can produce. In my opinion, having enough food is much more important than the advancement in technology or renewable energy, simply because we can't sustain our lives without food. I hope the world would have as much attention on food shortage as we have on the new technologies such as electric vehicles. If COVID-19 stopped the world from functioning properly, food shortage will wipe away a huge portion of the global population. It is truly a disaster. Climate has a huge factor in the production of the crops, and if our crops fail to adapt into the changing environment, the world will suffer out of starvation. And this food shortage may start war between countries. In order to prevent this from happening, we need to have better understandings of how our crops adapt into the new environment. This way, we may manage our crops to adapt faster into the new environment. In January 2021, Nature posted a research paper that suggests a mechanism of how agricultural crops could adapt into a new environment. In this research, the team's main focus was on switchgrass, which is a hugely important crop in the current world. Switchgrass has been used as a forage crop for livestock for a long time. Also, switchgrass can be used as biofuel, which is considered to be one of the sources of renewable energy. Also, switchgrass has a very high biomass yield and tolerance to drought. Moreover, switchgrass can be produced in vast geographical and environmental range from central Mexico all the way to Canada. It was previously known that this crucial crop was originated from tropics of Central or South America. This was found by sequencing DNA of different versions of switchgrass plants and comparing them. The key question is, how did switchgrass plants migrate up north? As we know, the temperature goes down when we travel up north, and the plants must have found a mechanism to adapt in the changing climate. And surely, the plants would not have invented sweaters or jackets to warm themselves up. Then, how did they adapt? Switchgrass is a tetraploid plant, as many plants are. This means switchgrass has 4 sets of chromosomes, 2 sets from mom and 2 sets from dad. But the plants do not have moms or dads. It's slightly more complicated than that, but anyways, let's continue. Usually, many organisms have 2 sets of chromosomes. For humans, we have 2 sets of 23 chromosomes, or 23 pairs of chromosomes. 23 chromosomes from mom and the other 23 chromosomes from dad. So if we do the math correctly, we humans should have 46 chromosomes. However, the fact that switchgrass has 4 sets of chromosomes show that there was a whole genome duplication process. The 2 sets duplicating, so there are 4 sets. 2 sets from mom and 2 sets from dad. 2 times 2 is 4. Anyways, what this tetraploided characteristic brings is genetic diversity. The research team was able to sequence the complete genome of different versions of switchgrass, which is an extremely challenging work due to the complexity of the genomes. And this is possibly one of the reasons why this research was published on Nature. After sequencing the genomes, the team then compared them. By comparing the genomes, the research team was able to identify genes at specific location of the chromosome that are associated with winter survival. Simplifying a little bit, switchgrass with genes associated with winter survival can survive at low temperature. Also, the research team was able to figure out where these winter survival genes may have come from, possibly during the process of whole genome duplication. Well, the actual paper is much more complicated than what I explained in this video. And this research would be a crucial one for the world, as this may provide us a hint of how plants can adapt in changing climate. The world is about to face food shortage. Well, we still have 30 years according to the UN, but 30 years will go by super fast. As I mentioned before, accelerating climate change would be one of the factors that may lead to food shortage. However, there must be other factors as well. For example, outgrowth of the global population. So, food shortage will definitely come if we don't prepare for it. We must find a way to cultivate the crops more efficiently while further understanding the mechanism of how plants migrate and adapt. If you are an investor, why don't you invest in agricultural businesses, not only for your earning but also for the sake of saving the planet? Our future may depend on this.